The Christmas season is on its way. If you go to Walmart, you would have to assume that it's already here. The entire place has already been Christmasized. The seasonal selection has been Christmas for weeks now, but they have the tree up in the entryway. There are red and green tags announcing their price matching policies everywhere, and I could hear Christmas music in the shelving and storage area. Black Friday is turning into Black November. Some store or other that I visited over the weekend is actually advertising as such. Stores are going to begin to outdo each other to bring you in and buy their discount clothing, electronics, and food products. I have no real problem with this. It doesn't quite match up to my sensibilities, but these places are going to do what they can to attract business, and everyone who does have a problem with the overall notion needs to understand that if people didn't respond to it, the stores wouldn't do it. People vote yes to this kind of thing with their wallets. If they didn't do so every time the bar and the doorbuster sales is pushed earlier and earlier, they wouldn't keep doing it. But a very simple fact is that every time a Black Friday sale opens an hour earlier, the crowds arrive an hour earlier. It's an understandable business practice, and more than that, it's smart. So am I going to do a HoseCast without taking issue with something? I laugh at you. When I was out this weekend, I noticed that not only has the Christmas season arrived, the Christmas crowds have done so as well. I don't necessarily even mean the crowds that are doing Christmas shopping. I mean the crowds full of highly inconsiderate people who take proprietary views of roads, sidewalks, aisles, and checkout lanes. Chances are these observations are not going to reach the ears of the people who need to hear them. I say these things in all hope, however, that the tides of fortune may in fact bring my words to those who need them most, in this, the most holiest of shopping days. First of all, having a full cart does not entitle you to push it wherever you want, at whatever speed you want. I don't care if your cart is full of food items that are going to be dropped on the most starving people who walk the face of this earth. Slow down when you're pushing your cart through a crowded store. The acceptable speed to be pushing your cart is inversely proportional to the amount of people in the store, not t'other way around. I know you can't be in that much of a hurry, or you wouldn't be spending so much time staring at the gingerbread house kits sitting on the end caps. If you have time to gawk at something that frivolous, you do not have that significant of a demand on your time, and you can slow down to try to avoid hitting someone. And on that subject, you do not have the right to give dirty looks or mutter dirty things at somebody that you just hit who was going slower than you were and had every reason to be where they were. I'm often gripped by regret that other people live in my world. However, I accept that I have a responsibility to do everything I can to keep myself from colliding with them. Each of us has the same responsibility, so take it. By the same token, you do not have the right to park your business wherever you want so that you can gawk at nothing, fumble through your purse for coupons, or do anything with your stinking little smartphone. My dearest Christmas wish is that Santa Claus will take a year off of giving out presents and instead use his yearly jaunt around the world to confiscate every smartphone that has been used in such a way as to inconvenience their fellow human beings. He sees you when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake, he knows when you've been bad or good, so put that phone away, for goodness sake. I estimate that actually by this simple act, only 132 people in the world will still have smartphones on December 26th, and 73 of them will have just received them as gifts and not turned them on yet. Now let's cover parking and driving. I assume that if you are on the road, you have at some point been licensed by the state. You therefore have been taught at some point how to park, how to change lanes, and how to deal with a situation where several people have to pass through the same intersection at relatively the same time. A second estimation that I have made reveals that if we started fining people at the rate of $5 per violation, causing a snarl at an intersection, we can solve this debt crisis that we're in and have enough money left over to buy Canada. As far as parking goes, here is a tip for the world. I am not going to make it easier for you to get my parking space if you are making a nuisance of yourself. If I see you sitting there waiting for my space while holding the traffic up behind you, I am not going to leave my space until you have passed me by. But Hose, you may say, aren't you just holding up the traffic even more? In practice, yes. But more so, I am refusing to validate the process of some jerk-ass who makes a point of holding up traffic in parking lots. Reinforcing behavior only leads to a higher frequency of said behavior. A few words about checkouts. I had a little incident today at Market District, which is an awesome place, and your time spent listening to this podcast would be better spent going to Market District and buying things. I was not in an express lane because the line I chose had only one person in front of me who was about halfway done with their stuff anyway, and had a cashier that seemed pretty competent. As it came my turn, a bag boy who, while not appearing to suffer from any specific mental deficiency, did come across as about as dumb as a bag of hammers, turned up and told the cashier that there was a woman trying to find out where the 30 boxes of graham crackers that she ordered could be found. Very understandably, the cashier told this knuckle-dragger that she had no way of knowing about this, and he should take the woman to customer service. After about 10 seconds, this particular human defective shows up with the woman in tow, who begins to harp on about how she ordered 30 boxes of graham crackers last week, and she was told she could pick them up today. What is this, a warehouse? And nobody seems to know what she's talking about. First of all, I have no sympathy for someone who can't find 30 boxes of graham crackers. It's not something that can't be done without. It's not bread. It's not milk. It's not toilet paper. Anything like that. Hell, if it had been coffee, I might have been more understanding, because people can get violent if they're deprived of that. But graham crackers? No. It's not even camping season, for crying out loud. In any case, this woman continues to go on and on about her stupid little crackers, ignoring the cashier's repeated insistences that she can't help and that the graham bitch needs to go to customer service. And this customer wouldn't shut up about it. People who know me well probably know that I'm not very confrontational, but they'll also know that I can only be forked so far. Finally, seeing how upset the cashier was getting, I decided I had enough and that I needed to interrupt. Excuse me, ma'am, there's a customer service desk right over there. This is a cashier and she's already told you she can't help you. Now, if you want your silly little graham crackers, why don't you shake yourself over that way, insert shooing hand motions here, so that the rest of us who have things to do today can finish checking out and getting on about our business. I get a seriously dirty look from this withered old shrew, who, when I returned a dirtier one, proceeded to take my advice and shake over to the customer service desk. For my efforts, I got a clap on the back and a "way to go" from a fellow behind me who looked as if he should be playing Tevye and Fiddler on the Roof, and a grateful thank you from the cashier. I was underwhelmed by this. I rather thought she was obligated to throw herself across the counter and let me carry her out of the store like I was Richard Gere in that movie that I've never seen, but that people are always doing send-ups of. Oh well, at least I got to release some rage. I also gave the double bird to some woman at a gas station who wouldn't get the hell out of my way, but that's not Christmas, that's just a small parking lot. And here's another thing. The citizens of this planet need to understand that stores do run out of certain items at times, and that this is especially true of heavily advertised items. It's going to happen, and you're not entitled to hold up the rest of the shopping public by demanding that the employees of your local Walmart, Target, Big Lots, Family Dollar, or Best Buy get all David Copperfield on you and start pulling your highly sought-after merchandise out of thin air. If it's not there, it's not there. If you're going to demand that some store personnel go to the back to look for something that you need oh so badly, get out of the silly checkout line and let your fellow humanoids get on with their lives. This goes two ways, however. The next time I see some cashier or stock boy or customer service desk worker or manager get that deer in headlights look on their face when confronted with a problem of this sort, I'm going to lose it. You work here. You know the score. Telling these people the way it is isn't going to make things any worse. If anything, by storming out of the place yelling about how they're going to bring down the entire national chain with their lack of business, they're going to make it less likely that the people behind them are going to abandon their purchases and head out the door. And this way the store will come out ahead in the end. I think most customers would appreciate this kind of activity. People understand unreasonable nonsense when they see it, and they respect those who refuse to stand for it. Just look at Tevye from my last story. I learned a long time ago that people don't behave in a way that makes any sense to me, but I can't stop expecting people to behave in their own self-interest. The way the people behave in the previously mentioned situations makes things harder on them. Starting traffic snarls and refusing to accept that the person that you've decided should be able to help you is unable to help you, and causing problems in the parking lots, these are things that are all going to get you the exact opposite of your result. I'm making a New Year's resolution a few months early this year. I'm not keeping this stuff to myself anymore. I don't care if you're a complete stranger. As of today, you're going to hear from Hose if you choose to behave like an idiot. You have been warned. 'Tis the season for me to tell you exactly what kind of jackass you're acting like, and to enjoy every minute of it as I do so.
I know it, your family knows it, dogs know it, everyone seems to know it except you.